Thanks, everyone. It's our July travel gathering, and we're going to share some traveler tips for other women that are traveling. I know sometimes we don't know what kinds of things to pack, what might be a good way to go from A to B, or even some gem places. We've been chatting a little bit about some places that you can just go and relax. You don't have to run
Hmm.
from place to place. You can
Yeah.
be by the lake, be by the ocean, just rent an Airbnb even. So, I think the next thing I want to ask is something that you have found that's been helpful when you've been packing. Because I know as we get older, I know myself, it's like stuff gets heavy, and a lot of the airlines charge you more for having stuff. And if you're having to pack and repack, and even if you're on a tour bus, with other people, you still have to be responsible for this stuff. And so it's nice to be able to pack less, and find things that work. So I'll just go around, and if you have an item that you've used that really works for you, please share it. So, Kathy, I know you've got some tips that have helped travelers. So,
Yeah, a few things. I usually wear the same clothes at least three times before I wash them, and sometimes I'll even wear them 3 days in a row. If I'm traveling by myself, because who's ever going to see me again that saw me yesterday? If I'm going with a group, I'll kind of alternate, but um, I take lightweight clothing. I take 7 pairs of underwear,
Hmm.
no matter how long I'm traveling. And I bought these special quick drying underwear
Hmm.
so I can wash them out and they'll dry overnight. Um, so I look at what the plan is for the trip, and usually I'll try to do that when we're someplace where we're going to be there for 2 days. Um, and I use packing cubes.
yes.
Those those help a lot. They don't really do anything for the weight, but they organize your stuff better. And I also bought myself a luggage scale, um, a little handheld one,
Hmm.
so that I can lift up my luggage with that and double check that the weight is still okay, um, before I get on a flight.
Yeah, those are good tips. Has anyone found like the underwear is excellent because I know myself recently, it's like if you have, I really like to wear cotton underwear. My skin has gotten super sensitive, but cotton underwear, it just does not dry. And even
Yeah.
you're
Hmm.
sitting there fighting with a hair dryer,
Right.
it's not a good thing. So, like I think you got the silk underwear, Kathy.
Hmm.
There's some other
Yeah, well, no,
brands.
mine's some kind of synthetic, but it's
Hmm.
very breathable.
Oh,
So
nice.
I looked a long time and put a lot of questions on some of the Facebook travel places and got recommendations, and I found them on Amazon. So
Hmm.
they're not cheap, but like I said, I only need 7 of them. So
Right. Deborah, do you have some travel items that have really worked well for you that you travel with?
Yeah, like Kathy was saying, I found some underwear on Shein.
Oh,
And so they can just be washed, and I probably kind of roll them in a towel and then just let them air dry, and they'll be ready the next day. I also have a my own luggage weight, so I'll know um, how much, and I try to put in less than the maximum, because things happen.
yeah.
So that's very, very, especially when I went to China, they were so ticky about the weight of your luggage. Um, and I start a couple of days ahead of time packing, and then I notice a color theme. So I put a lot of stuff back and then just keep the theme, and then that way I only need one or two pair of shoes, maybe some tennis shoes, and I'm good to go. And I'm like Kathy, I don't mind wearing the same thing, twice. Mix and match. Um, and I go like that.
Yeah, I agree. The luggage scale I did buy before my last trip because same thing. It's nice to just be able to weigh it yourself and
Right,
make sure because different airlines are very specific about the weight, and I don't want to pay extra to haul
right.
my stuff around.
Yeah, it's not
Yeah.
worth it. And
No,
sometimes you need to just remove a few things.
And
right.
they're stricter outside the United States
Yeah.
than they
Mm-hmm.
are inside the United States. So.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Heather, you have some items that have worked for you to travel or things that you've taken that you realized you just didn't really need them?
Well, I had the tendency just because, like in Alaska, I probably took more than I needed just because I know I get cold easily.
Mm-hmm.
I was trying to, but I also have words that when it comes to underwear, that you can just throw them away instead of bring them back.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
That's what we do on Lake Superior.
there you
Mhm.
go. Take the old ones. Yeah.
But then you'd have to buy some more.
Right.
So,
Yeah, but then you're going against your mother telling you that you don't want to be out someplace in your holy underwear in case you're in an accident and they take you to the hospital and they see that you've got all this ratty old underwear.
That is true.
and
Yeah.
and just a reminder, I had a friend tell me to put extra set of clothes in my carry-on, which I
Mhm.
did going to Alaska, but I decided not to do that on the way home.
Oh.
That's why I got stuck in my clothes for 5 days because the guy wouldn't let me. He had my ticket for for my for my luggage that got put on the plane, but he wouldn't give it to the guy. So I got stuck without my checked luggage for a week.
Oh no, so you didn't have the extra, like even one extra change of clothes for the extra days.
No.
Wow.
That's a good tip, Heather, actually,
Yeah.
because you never just because, and I know I've probably been guilty of it too. We assume like we're flying home, why bother putting that extra outfit in the carry on in the items that are staying with
Mhm.
us on the plane? We'll just
Yeah.
check it all. But you know what? Your flight connection could get missed. Who
Yeah.
knows? Might happen. The airport could shut down. It's the things that aren't
Mhm.
even in your control. Their computer says, who knows? And now your bag is off somewhere else, and
Right.
you only got the
Well,
clothes on your back.
if I had called Delta, they probably could have sent it back to me at my hotel where I was. That what they paid for one hotel, that I went to another one. But I wasn't thinking when I was packing because I thought, oh, I'm just going to go back to Iowa, from Atlanta, and it didn't happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that happened to me when I came back from Iceland when I got sick, and I my luggage got on the plane and I didn't in Heathrow, and we had to spend the night in Heathrow in London, and then I went directly to a hospital in San Diego, and my luggage didn't show up for 5 more days. Even though I was calling them every single day, and saying, where's my luggage? Here's my claim number, all of that kind of stuff. It was a pain in the neck. And because I was in the hospital, I didn't really feel comfortable with them delivering it to the hospital. So I said, well, I want you to deliver it to my next door neighbor. Well, then that took another whole thing for them to release it to my next door neighbor.
Oh wow.
So I wore the same clothes for 5 days.
Oh dear. Has
Yeah.
anyone found socks that dry quickly? Because that's the other thing is, socks take up room and,
Yeah,
when you like for me, I oftentimes like the thicker socks, but that's another thing that doesn't dry very quick. So
yeah,
after this
no, it
last
don't.
trip, I'm like, you know what? I need to start looking on Amazon or other travel sites and seeing if people, even a couple pairs of quick dry
Yeah,
socks.
Well,
yeah,
I usually only wear the like the
compression.
petty um socks,
Oh, the
you know,
slip-on socks, like the ankle socks.
that don't show. And I bought mine from Bombas,
Oh.
and they dry pretty quickly, usually overnight. Um, but the other thing about them was I took them when I went to Southeast Asia, and um, all of them got a hole in them where my big toe was, and
Oh.
my nail wasn't long or anything like that. When I got back from the trip, I called Bombas, and that they said, "Well, can you send us a picture?" I sent them a picture what the one looked like, and they sent me new socks.
Oh, wow.
I didn't even have to return the old ones. They sent me new ones, and they said, we'll be talking to our manufacturer because this is a defect. Um,
Nice.
so that was good, and I wear their socks anyway. Other types, but I tend to use the what they call their no shows.
Yeah,
Um,
but that's a good recommendation for a company that stands behind their product.
yeah,
Same with luggage sometimes. I know there's companies out there that are more expensive, but they might have a longer warranty. They might replace and fix it. So instead of continuing to buy maybe the 30 or 40 or $50 bag at the outlet stores, which I found some good ones there, do your homework. But, some people, though, swear by some of the more expensive, like, I think it's Eagle Creek and some of the other ones that kind of have like a lifetime, something happens, send it in and they fix it or send you a new bag if they can't fix it.
They either fixed something broke on my luggage, that was my parents' luggage.
Yeah.
My mother sent it in, and they fixed it and sent it right back. We didn't
Oh,
have to
wow.
have it returned.
Do you remember what brand it was?
Um, uh, it was the second.
Yeah, that's all right. The other thing I think that's good is like, making sure to pack layers because especially if you're going multiple places, like when I did my June trip, I was going places that had, it's like it was south of Spain all the way to northern Europe and looking at the temperatures, there was kind of a wide range of temps. And I was glad that I'd kind of at least thrown in like a couple lightweight sweaters or things that I could layer together so that when I was in the cooler places, I didn't get too cold. Yes, Heather.
Eagle Creek,
Oh, it was. Okay.
travel GD or whatever.
Nice.
My parents got me. There's a store up near where Hobby Lobby is that my parents knew the people who owned it. And that's where they got the luggage from.
Nice.
They got one for dad and one for mother, then they got a smaller one. So I have like, here it's like, well, you could get rid of one of these. And I'm just like, no. Depending on where I'm going to go, depends on whether I need the larger one or the smaller one.
Well, and larger luggage too is sometimes good just to store things in your home. I know, when I had to put things into storage when I was moving, just having a big suitcase that would be way too big now for me to travel with, it had the wheels, so it was good to put things into store, or if you live in a place where your seasons change, you can put all the opposite season in it and maybe fit it into a place so it's not taking up so much room in your closet. So,
I put hangers from
oh,
my closet and other closets in Pinehurst into my mother's wheel, into my wheeled luggage. But I got rid of one that broke, and the other one I gave to the Salvation Army.
yeah,
But all my mother, her carry on that I used, the
mhm,
black, everything is wheeled, so I don't have to um worry about having the hard time picking it up.
yeah,
A good thing to do with luggage that you don't want anymore is to see whether or not the foster care system in your community has a program where you can donate your luggage to foster children, because
Okay.
so many of those kids are carrying their belongings around in a trash bag.
yeah,
They don't have, and when they go from one family to the next, which happens unfortunately for many of them, they just put everything in a black trash bag and carry it around. And it's nice for them to be able to have a suitcase.
Yeah.
Well, I was thinking about doing that, but I didn't. I should have talked to YSS to see that. But the one, the Navy one that I had, the dark Navy one, the handle broke on it.
oh,
So there was no sense of keeping it. And the other one was really large, that I've had since high school graduation.
that is
So
a good tip though, Kathy, of donating it to,
Right.
you know,
I
uh,
might eventually do it.
yeah, oh, of course, yeah, and sometimes in the craziness, sometimes or you're helping a relative clean out a home or something, you're just trying to.
Right.
But if you keep that in your mind, like you're right, these or domestic homes that help
Mhm.
women that are
Yeah.
escaping situations, often they've left in again, black trash
With
bag or
nothing,
nothing,
with
they've just
nothing, yeah.
thankful to get out. So having a suitcase, even if it's a little beat up, gives a little bit of dignity, gives a little bit
Mhm.
of making them feel a little better. So it's a
Right.
good thing to remember.
Mhm.
Well, I
I,
have some
I,
other.
try, I try to just use a carry-on for almost all trips, except if I'm going on a cruise. Then I take a bigger suitcase because I don't have to schlep it around.
Right.
And, also because you need more clothes, you know, especially on the cruises where they expect you to, kind of dress up a little bit more at night, no shorts, no jeans, stuff like that. Uh,
Yeah.
Well, I was going to talk to YSS because I might have. I had the like duffel bag that came from American tourists that I could give to them, or if they do a place.
Yeah.
So I am. If you've noticed, the dollhouse is now gone.
Oh wow. Yeah.
It's actually outside my apartment, sort of against the wall, because my person who cuts my hair, she has a daughter who's about 2 years old. So they might have to do a little work on it, but it's basically very sturdy.
Nice.
And she's going to kind of pick it up tomorrow morning.
Oh, cool. That's
So
great.
Good.
some of my storage is sort of going to be gone tomorrow.
No, that's good. It's going to go to someone that really appreciates it. That's great.
Yeah, so I have
Well,
3 boxes.
that's something that we all should be doing as we get older, is getting rid of a lot of our
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
Gosh, I wish my parents had done that.
Yeah.
Both my parents had so much stuff that we had to clean out when they died.
Yeah.
It was just, it took weeks, literally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My dad built that for me.
Oh, wow.
That's why it was so hard for me not to want to get rid of it before I moved here.
Oh, yeah. Of course. Sometimes it
I
takes time.
decided, I have a red table I can pull out now. There's I don't know. If I ever have to move to a bedroom apartment, it's gonna be hard to
Oh,
figure
you'll get there. It just takes time. It's all good.
Mm-hmm.
out. Because I have a white dresser that they could also have later if they needed one.
So
The other thing with taking a smaller suitcase, like when you travel with April, and it's, 5 to 8 people in a SUV or a van. I mean, there's only so much space for the luggage, And I
right.
remember when we went to New England, I was the only one with a small suitcase. Everybody had these
I know.
humongous suitcases, and it was quite a chore for April to get everything, just right so that it all
Yeah,
fit
so it fits.
in the back of the SUV. And there was only 5 of us, but it was kind of ridiculous. I mean, some people looked like they were, it was a week trip. Some people looked like they were packing for the rest of their life.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. That's so true, Kathy. And the other thing is, I agree. It's like you only, so you wear a pair of pants a couple extra. I mean, I've gotten to
Yeah.
now where it's 2 or 3 times. Nobody's really paying attention if
Mhm.
you wear those jeans or blue pants. Pick something that's comfortable. Wear it several times. It'll be
Mhm.
fine. That's all you need. And even toiletries, I've really scaled down on what do I need to put on my face? Something
Right.
some moisturizer. Pick your favorite items and find little
Mhm.
containers of it because it's amazing how if you try it at home, even a mini tube of toothpaste, unless you're
Yeah.
wasting tons of toothpaste, it'll last.
Yeah, it will.
It will
Mhm.
last. And most places we go, it's not like we can't get another tube of toothpaste or
Yeah.
so unless it's something special, and I understand people have special beauty routines and stuff, but again, try to take some of it, put it in a smaller container. It'll save you so much space. And, if it accidentally, that's the other thing, double wrap it. I mean, if the air pressure in the plane and it pops open, the less you have, the less mess it's going to make.
I found some really good bottles that I can fill with my face cleaner and my shampoo on Amazon, and
Oh, nice.
they say they're guaranteed to be spill proof.
Oh, wow.
And I've taken them all over the world, and I've never had a leak.
I like that. Yeah.
And I stopped wearing makeup when I retired. I was like, that's it. I'm tired of it. So I don't take that stuff anymore.
Yeah. That's true.
Well, I
Always
have-
go ahead. Oh, I was gonna say, do any of you pack little snacks in your bag when you go on the plane? Because I think it's important to always
Yeah.
pack some
Yeah,
snacks.
usually on my way someplace, I will pack a sandwich and some fruit.
Mhm.
If it's a long flight and it's not an international flight where they feed you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, I take snacks too. If I'm flying international, I make sure I take my snacks. Of course, like Kathy said, they're gonna feed you well. But
Yeah.
I take my peanut butter.
No, it's smart. Yeah.
Yeah, because some places you go and the food is not, it doesn't look that appetizing. So I
Right.
just have my peanut butter but I always have, some kind of snacks. Yeah.
And I've started actually stuffing like a recyclable bag in my carry-on backpack and stuff so that way too put your little lunch in, take it out of your carry-on bag because they don't know that you didn't just buy that in the airport actually, and then that
Right,
kind of
right.
gives you a little bit more room in your bag. You can get it under your seat and not smush your lunch or fill up that. I always take a water bottle now that I can just fill at the airport
Yeah,
because the price of
exactly.
water has gotten crazy.
It's ridiculous. Yeah.
Yeah, and then you end up on, God forbid you end up on a airline like Spirit or something like that, where they don't even give you water unless
I
you pay for it.
know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
that should be wrong. I just
Yeah,
think that,
right. It should be. Or they give you a cup that's
yeah,
Yeah,
that
and
doesn't,
they charge you for a carry-on too.
yeah.
right.
The only time I fly Spirit is when I go to see my sister because it's the only airline that goes to the airport that's closest to her house. So uh, Bellingham, Washington isn't like a
Yeah.
huge airport.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's not like a hub.
Yeah.
Yeah. So where's a place in your hometown that you would take someone to visit if they came to visit? I think all of you live somewhere where there's always something to see. Do you want to share first, Heather?
Sure. It's I suggest go to Hickory Park, Best Barbecue at Ames, and go to Riley Garden.
Oh yeah, the gardens, that's right. And they often do the butterflies still in the springtime, don't they? Where they have like the butterfly pavilion.
Yeah, year round.
Oh, nice.
I
Yeah,
think it's year round. I have not been there last year or this year, so I haven't even paid for a membership because I paid one last year and I didn't even use it.
well, the other place I think that's nice in Ames or other towns, if they have a college or university campus, it's free to wander most campuses most of the time. It's, the campus itself, the grounds at least are open. And if they're older campuses, they have beautiful trees and places to sit. And, you can get outside in nature and just, especially, when classes aren't in season, like in summer, and even still, when the classes are in season, it's just a place to people watch or find a tree or a bench and get outside.
Yeah,
Well,
and a lot of campuses will have art exhibits too.
Oh, yeah.
You can ask and see if there's a student art exhibit going on. I know I went back to my alma mater and to visit, and I did that. It was fun to go back in the same gallery that where they'd had art when I was a student there, that they were
Yeah.
still showing student art.
The other place too, I think, is looking for public libraries in a lot of towns. I know in New England, when I know Kathy was with me, a public library too is a great place to find a public restroom. Oftentimes it's hard to find a clean public restroom,
Mhm.
and these small towns still, a lot of them will have a public library. So if it's during the week, just go in and be respectful. And you can often, again, a lot of them have little exhibits on the history of the community or people to talk to. It's locals working there. So
And that one was one of the original Carnegie libraries. It was a beautiful building.
yeah, it really was. I love seeking out those libraries. So Deborah, what's in near you that we could come visit and see?
Well, recently my granddaughter came to visit, and I took her down to NASA,
Oh,
Space City.
wow.
Uh-huh. And they totally remodeled it. It is fabulous. I hadn't been in ages. We used to take the kids when I was a middle school counselor, but I hadn't been in ages, and it's fully remodeled. There's an area where you can actually go and look at the spaceship. Uh, I don't remember which spaceship it was, but I mean, you can actually see it's up close and in person. There are videos about the space. One area we went into even showed where was a dummy in zero gravity.
Oh,
And then
wow.
there was another one showing how the astronauts at that time took a shower. And it was in this long tube thing. And that was just, you don't think about those kinds of things. And my granddaughter just thought, she was just so fascinated by it. So I would do that again. I would do it by myself.
Yeah. Oh, that's
Yeah.
great. Oh, I love
That's why,
that.
and there's also a train that will take you around the area.
Oh, that sounds really cool. I like
Yeah.
that.
Uh-huh. Very nice.
How about you, Kathy? I know there's lots in San Diego to see.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
can't pick just one. Probably the San Diego Zoo would be number
Yeah.
one. And the other parts of Balboa Park, because a lot of people go to the zoo, but not everybody goes to the museums. I mean, we have a natural history museum, we have an anthropology museum, we have a photography museum, we have a folk art museum, um, uh, a local artist gallery where they have different exhibits, and then the San Diego Art Museum and the Timken Gallery. And then the Japanese Friendship Garden, which is one of my favorite places to go, which is beautiful no matter what time of year you go. Other places I would go, I don't take people to SeaWorld. I don't support SeaWorld. So that's, if they want to go, I'll tell them how to get there, but I'm not going and giving them my money. But I do belong to, I'm a member of the Birch Aquarium, which is part of Scripps Institution of Oceanography. And they have a very nice aquarium. It's not, they don't like train the animals to do tricks and stuff like that, like they do at SeaWorld. And they primarily have um, local fish or fish that are from areas of the world where they've taken their ships on expeditions.
Oh, wow.
And they just recently got some blue penguins from New Zealand.
Oh my goodness, wow.
And it's the smallest species of penguin. They're so cute. They're about this tall.
Oh, oh my
And
gosh.
and they do have this blue coloring on them. The little sign that's in front of the exhibit says, and they poop 145 times a day.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, I like that.
Wow.
And then our botanical garden, I'm a member there too, so I can take friends. I have guest passes, and it's just a really great place to go and stroll around. You can take a picnic with you. I sort of know the director, so if I see him, I can chat him up and ask about what's new. But it's very nice botanical garden, and it's actually in the city of Encinitas, which is just a little bit north of San Diego, about 20 miles.
Yeah, the gardens, I mean, that's just, I don't know. I think for a lot of us, a garden can be really enjoyable and, just slowing down, taking your time and walking and observing, the light hitting the flowers or just the birds. I mean, they're beautiful places to go. And oftentimes, there's gardens that don't cost much or are free too. Sometimes they have free days at the ones even that you pay for. Just kind of have to look.
Yeah. Yeah, they do that at the Japanese Friendship Garden. There's one day a month where it's open free.
Yeah.
Normally it's $15, but I actually have what's called an Explorer card. So that gets me into all the museums in Balboa Park for free
Oh, nice.
for a year. And the senior price is only $99. So it's not bad because almost all the museums are like $15. So if you go a lot, you can make up. It doesn't get you into the zoo. So I buy a separate membership for the zoo,
Right.
but everything else in the park is included. Oh, I
Yeah.
forgot to mention there's also an automotive and an aerospace museum in Balboa Park.
Yeah, there's really a lot in Balboa Park. I mean, you can easily, there's a lot to do there. And you don't even have to spend time in the grounds. I think are really beautiful. And so even if you're not a museum person that day, or the weather's, which San Diego has beautiful weather, you're so lucky to have beautiful weather. So
I like when I go to kind of keep an eye out for people who look like they're out of town and kind of lost,
yeah,
and I'll say, can I help you find something, and I've met people from Germany, the
oh,
Netherlands, China, that way, and I like kind of showing off my town. So
yeah, I love that. That's great.
yeah.
Yeah. So why don't we share? We got just a few minutes left. Any places anyone got travel that they've got booked, a place they're going to coming up? I know Kathy's got a couple places that she's going.
Yeah, I've got 2 cruises booked. One in December over the holidays, which is a cruise that leaves San Diego, goes to Hawaii, and then comes back to San Diego. So I don't have to fly at all. And then in February next year, I'm taking a cruise that I have wanted to do like forever. And it's 35 days.
Wow.
And it goes from San Diego to Hawaii to Fanning Island to French Polynesia, and then to the Marquesas Islands, and then back to San Diego.
Wow. That's amazing.
So again, no flying.
Right,
And,
right.
and that one, some friends of mine from Nashville, I was talking to them about it, and they said, why don't we go with you? And so they're going with me.
Yeah. And which company is that you're going with on that one?
Holland, but they're both Holland America,
Oh,
because
that's right. You mentioned that.
Holland America is one of the few cruise lines that has their embarkation port in San Diego.
Nice. I like
They do
that.
that for their Mexican Riviera cruises also.
If there's room on that cruise, Kathy, it might be something we can even post in the meetup group to let, and then other women that might be interested in going at least might be on that same ship with you. We can just indicate that at least they know someone else on the ship because,
Yeah, I know some people who went this last winter, and they had a great time.
yeah, it'll be great to hear back from you about the Hawaiian cruise too when you get back at the
Yeah, well,
holidays.
I've done that one before with my parents. I did 3 times. We did that cruise. Twice out of San Diego on Holland America, and once out of Los Angeles on Princess.
Nice.
They use their ships that they normally use in the summer for Alaska. They use them for these trips to Hawaii, or they use them for Mexican Riviera.
Hmm.
So
Nice.
they keep them on the West Coast.
Yeah. So what do you got planned, Deborah? I know you usually have trips planned. Or
Yeah, I have, like I said, I'm going to Pensacola week after next for 4 or 5 days. I'm going with my cousin. She'll be celebrating her birthday, July 26th, and I celebrated mine on the 8th. Then after that, I'm going with a group on a train trip to New Orleans.
oh,
Yeah.
wow.
And we're leaving on a Thursday, returning to Houston on a Monday. So that'll be exciting. I've been
Yes.
to New Orleans, but I haven't been there on the train.
Yeah,
Uh,
I'll be curious to hear when you get back. I should have you do an episode and share about
yeah,
taking the
I'm
train
I'm
there.
looking forward to it. Yeah, yeah. It's just things you don't do that just right here in your own town.
Right.
How long
Um,
is the train trip?
oh, it's like 8 hours.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, it's a long time. So, but anyway, the fun of it to me will be in getting there. We'll play games, we'll read,
Yeah.
we'll just relax.
Yeah.
And
And
then it gets you right to New Orleans and
yeah,
then How long are you going to stay a few days then in New Orleans before you
We're
get?
gonna stay a few days. We'll leave that Thursday. I think the train leaves at 12:30 p.m. and we get to New Orleans at 9. And then we'll come back Monday. And I think it leaves early in the morning and gets back in the evening before sunset on Monday. So
Nice.
that'll be
You
we'll
staying in,
gamble.
are you staying in an Airbnb or a hotel or
We're
what?
staying at a hotel. We got a pretty good rate at a hotel that's a couple blocks from the train station. So we'll eat some good food and do some sightseeing and just have fun. There are 29 of us going.
Oh, wow. Oh my God. Goodness.
Yeah. And so and then September I'm going to DC to the African American Museum.
I have
Nice.
not been to that museum and it's on my list. I've not been to the American Indian Museum,
Okay.
which is also fabulous.
Oh,
But I would really like to go back and see I don't get back there as much anymore because I had a cousin who lived in Maryland and I would go back and visit him and we'd go to the museums together.
mm,
He passed away last year. So
Oh, I'm
sorry.
sorry.
yeah, I don't know when I'll get back to DC again.
Yeah. Yeah, well,
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to it. I've been, but I only got a chance to stay at the museum like 3 or 4 hours, and that was not enough.
No,
No, right. Well, I'll be excited to hear about New Orleans, Deborah, because
Yeah,
it's a place I've been wanting to get back to, and it's been years, honestly, and I know they've had a lot of changes to the city. So,
right. Yeah,
yeah,
but it's always good food.
yeah, exactly. Make
yeah,
some notes so you can come back and share with
I
us.
sure
but
will. I
yeah,
sure will.
ever
Yeah,
since Katrina, has been a lot of changes in
yeah,
New Orleans.
Yeah,
yeah.
it's a
They
city I
have
want to
been.
get back to, so I need to
Mhm.
get back there. Heather,
Yeah.
what do you have some local trips planned or?
No, that's just about it. Just kind of around, Houston, and I'm trying to decide if since I retired, do I want to go back to work? So I may sub at some schools, some private schools around, but I have a cruise plan, but it's not until April of 2025. I have a girlfriend who gets these cheap $100 cruises,
Oh,
and
wow.
this one was like 210, and I'm like, yeah, I want to go.
Yeah.
But that's for April because she has friends that are going all through the year. So I picked, April. She didn't have anybody to go with her then. So April
Nice.
25, I'll be doing that. And I'm going to Toronto in April. I have a good friend. She'd never been. Unfortunately, she passed away on July 4th.
Oh, I'm so sorry to hear
Yeah,
that.
my best friend. We've been friends for 63 years.
Oh my
And
gosh.
but I'm determined to go and just do what she wanted to do.
Oh, good. Good for
Yeah,
you. Yeah, that is
yeah,
important. That
yeah.
is.
So,
Thank
so that's
you.
all I have planned. I mean, that's enough, but
Yeah, you got a lot of good plan and lots to share again.
yeah,
Yeah.
Thank
yeah.
you.
How about you, Heather?
Yeah, Heather.
I don't know. I I may go see Kevin, I may not. Well, Kevin a pro. I will just have to see.
Yeah.
And they're out in California, right, Heather?
Right, in Mountain View, near
Nice.
San Francisco.
Well, and maybe you'll get out in the fall too. Maybe you'll get just out to the lake again or something, or somewhere. So you never know. That's great.
Not,
Mm.
probably not Lake Superior again.
Hmm.
We do that once a year. I didn't do it last year, so that's why I wanted to go this year.
Yeah, it's a great place to go. It's wonderful.
Yeah. And I may or may not have Ronan here for a weekend. I talked to he was with his dad, so he couldn't go up with us in June. But I told him, I said, if you want to come for the weekend, I could have you we can go see Ryman Gardens.
Oh
He's
yeah.
excited about it. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, nice. Well, great. Well, 6 o'clock, ladies. Thank you so much tonight for
Okay.
joining and stay in touch. And we'll try to do this again on Sunday nights. It seems like a good night for people.
I look forward to it.
All right.
Yeah, it's good to see you
Right.
guys. Thanks.
Okay. All right, April. Thank you.
All right,
Bye-bye,
okay.
Kathy and Heather.
Bye, ladies.
Heather,
Thank you.